ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. So in my third video, I will describe how does a Jivan Mukta carry on with his normal day-to-day life. Normally, a Jivan Mukta in the fifth state of consciousness, that is Jnana Bhumika, remains half awake and half sleepy, while the one in the sixth stage remains as if asleep. They attend to their worldly duties only when reminded and awakened by other people around them. In the same manner as dictated by tradition, he is normally engaged in those minimum activities required for the bare sustenance of his body without being motivated by any desire, delusion, or grief, without exercising any choice or preference, and without judging or bothering about whether an action is good or bad, favorable or unfavorable, as all actions, obligatory or otherwise, have dropped off by themselves in respect of a person of enlightenment. He never does any activity, nor does he ever talk, though to the onlookers it appears as if he is performing some act or is talking. This is because he has no ego or sense of doership and has no body sense. Also, in his books, has narrated that once Gautam Buddha, after having traveled miles from village to village for the propagation of Dhamma, ultimate law of truth, and having delivered sermons for more than about 30 to 40 years, told his favorite disciple Ananda, Ananda, believe me when I say that in all these years I have never walked a single step, nor have I talked a single word. Such Jivan Muktas completely alienate themselves from the body, and for them the activity, if any, is done by the body and not by themselves, who are of the form of pure consciousness. A common man engaged in worldly activities, even while eating, is engaged in various thoughts about his office, profession, business, or family matters, and so he never fully enjoys his eating. The same is the case when he sleeps or travels or talks, as while engaged in these activities he is distracted by other worldly thoughts. In contrast, while Jivan Mukta sleeps, it is with full enjoyment without any other thought. Similarly, he does with full relish any other task like talking, eating, etc., as he is bereft of all distracting thoughts of the world. Actually, a Jivan Mukta is a master idler who feels vexed even with the functioning of opening and closing of the eyelids. Self-realization makes even the best speaker seem mute, an intelligent man appear dull, and the most active and dynamic person look lethargic. He has no thought of duty so far done or duty yet to be done. The only duty of every person is to know the self, and so no sense of duty done or yet to be done arises from a liberated person. He is not interested either in charitable acts or in meritorious deeds or in earning money or in enjoyment of desired objects or even in liberation. Even though a Jivan Mukta remains thoroughly inactive like a fallen dried leaf, he is made to act sometimes by the wind of totality, which runs the entire world without any volition of his own. Thus, while he performs certain acts without any desire or attachment, selflessly like a child, he continues to remain pure and is not tainted by the nature of the deed, sinful or meritorious. Now, what are the more practical characteristics of a Jivan Mukta? Number one, money and sex. When we come to the more practical, easily recognizable traits of a Jivan Mukta, sexual non-involvement and not earning accumulation of money play the most predominant role for any reason whatsoever, whether for building an ashram or a temple, for running an orphanage or charitable school, earning money by lectures, discourses, initiations, mantra diksha, through donations, etc., or so-called voluntary contributions will not be possible for a liberated saint who cannot indulge in such things. For a knower of the self, there is no world or society apart from himself which needs to be helped through various services. Even a person who has once heard of the beautiful self, which is pure consciousness, will never get attracted to the degrading sexual activities. One who is established in the non dual reality and strives for his liberation can never afford to indulge in amorous and sexual sports, having been won over by carnal lust and passion. Sadhana for liberation and sexual indulgence are incompatible and cannot go together. Second, power of now. Next in importance is his attitude towards past, present, and future. A common man's mind gets agitated by thinking of past events, memories of past sufferings, and insults as also of pleasant events both continue to haunt him and disturb his peace of mind. Similarly, even though he has no capacity for divining the future in advance, the mind continues to be perturbed by imagining and planning the future by projecting the past and is haunted by fear of insecurity, loss, etc. The past is past and there is no use ruminating over it as nothing can be undone now. The future is unknown. The present can never be caught because by the time you become aware of it, it becomes a thing of the past. So, a Jivan Mukta never thinks of the past, never bothers about the future, and remains a silent and choiceless witness to the present, accepting things as they come. This is the secret of his happiness, which is the result of remaining in the now at all time. Third, no reaction. Here lies the ultimate test of a Jivan Mukta. He does not react to any events or news or to any impetus from outside. However intense or immense may be the provocation, whether feasted or tormented, he neither rejoices nor is angry as he sees his own self only in our hosts or tormentors. He does not react in the least whether he is adulated or vilified, looks at his own body as if it belongs to someone else, and all praise or censure pertains only to the body and not to the self. Third, he is never afraid of the impending and imminent death as he looks at the world and his own life as but a dream. Fourth, he is neither tempted by worldly objects nor attached to them if, as a result of past action, prarabdha, some objects of enjoyment seek him, he is neither pleased nor vexed at their presence. Fifth, rooted in the non-duality of the Brahma, he performs actions fearlessly. He is alike in joy and sorrow, hope and disappointment, as also in life and death. He never desires nor grieves, he neither rejects or nor accepts. All prosperity and calamities are predestined by the will of the Lord. So a Jivan Mukta is happy in both situations. When sense objects come before a Jivan Mukta, he never goes to the extreme of hating them like a yogi or on the other of hand hankering after their enjoyment like a worldly person. He remains a mute, choiceless witness, neither grasping nor rejecting. It is the worldly man who wants to renounce the home and hearth and be rid of sorrows or sufferings, while a Jivan Mukta whose desires have been effaced does not experience any sorrow or misery in this world. 10th, while seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, grasping, talking, or walking, a common man chooses only those objects which are to his liking and rejects those which he likes. A Jivan Mukta, while doing these very activities, accepts whatever confronts him without exercising any choice based on his likes or dislikes. 11. He exercises no compassion nor entertains any wish to harm anybody. He is without pride or humility. Nothing disturbs him, nothing surprises him. 12th, alone in the forest or out in the multitude of the world, an emperor in his own kingdom or a beggar begging for alms, winning or losing makes no difference to him. 13. Even when his servants, wives, sons, grandsons, and close relatives make fun of him and despise him, he remains undismayed and unmoved. 14. Even though a Jivan Mukta may appear to the onlooker as happy or unhappy with certain things, and pleased or displeased by certain events, in reality he is neither pleased nor unhappy at any time. Such marvelous traits of a Jivan Mukta can be understood only by other Jivan Muktas in similar state of consciousness. He does not bother whether the body falls down in death or it continues to live. He is so firmly set in his own being that he goes beyond the cycle of birth and death. Whether a pot continues to stay for years or immediately falls down and is destroyed, it matters not either way to the space inside the pot. In conclusion, a Jivan Mukta is internally one with the entire world and undifferentiated. He is not bothered about conformity to any standard or words, opinion, or acceptance. He can behave as he wants, even though he has no cause to perform any act against universally accepted moral and ethnic principles. And there are no does and don'ts for him, no commands or prohibitions. Who can understand those people who act like lunatics, except perhaps those who are in an exactly similar state? He is empty both within and without, like an empty pitcher kept in the open. He is at the same time full plenary both inside and outside, like a jar kept submerged in the ocean and full of water. There is no coming or going for him to the other worlds. That is, there is no rebirth. Immanent in the universe behind all the variegated and manifold forms is the Brahma, the supreme existence, and it is he that illumines the entire world like the sun. A knower of this reality becomes a Jivan Mukta. So lastly, what we have learned so far, that is sum up the previous talk. Who can talk of a Jivan Mukta or describe him? Seen from the point of view of ultimate reality, there can never be a single individual who can claim himself to be a Jivan Mukta. Only when the individuality which identifies itself with the body-mind mechanism is dissolved, liberation results. Jivan Mukti is a state appearing in the totality. The Ashtavakra Samhita says, so long as there is I, there is only bondage. When the I has dissolved, there is liberation. As long as we feel hungry in a dream food has to be procured in order to appease that hunger in the dream. Till such time as the delusion of the world and bondage exists, there has to be liberation, and the state of Jivan Mukta is also relatively true. To summarize the main steps leading to the state of a Jivan Mukta, number one, leave off your identification with the body, Dehatma Bhava, and be convinced that you are not the body mind mechanism but pure consciousness. 2. Live always in the now, neither think of the past which has already happened, nor worry or have daydreams of the future. As the future is unknown, all thoughts of future are baseless imaginations of the mind. At this moment, you are happy. Extend this from moment to moment. Even when you have no cause for unhappiness, you become unhappy by either thinking of some unpleasant past events or imagining some fear of insecurity or calamity. 3. Accept the present and float with it. Do not swim either with or against the current. Just float and allow life to take you wherever it wants. Accept all happiness and just look at them as an uninvolved, choiceless, uncritical, pure witness. Do not exercise any judgment as to whether an event is good or bad, favorable or unfavorable, or whether to your liking or not. Fourth, leave off doership. To have a state of unconditional acceptance, it is essential that we surrender all the doership to the Supreme Being, that is the Self. Neither birth nor death, the two ends of life, is in our hands. Nobody has consulted our desires before we were born, nor does anyone give us any notice or choice before our death? Even breathing takes place on its own and we have no power to stop it. On the day it bids final goodbye to the body, how many people strive hard to achieve their ambitions in life with all qualifications and dexterity at their command, sparing no efforts, but ultimately they fail. Sudden calamities never even dreamed of overtakes us. All this proves that all actions are taking place in the totality according to a divine scheme, but we believe that we are the doers and thus attract the results of such actions, good or bad, to us. If only we surrender all the actions to that supreme divine will and rest content with the actual role of being a passive, choiceless, and silent instrument in the hands of the divine, the very divine grace will lead us to our goal. Fifth, do not react. Even if the entire universe were to collapse or get inundated with floods, do not react. Let no external impetus, however favorable or unfavorable, have any effect or elicit any response from you. This state can result only when the ideal that I am the body mind complex ceases to have a hold on you. In quantum physics, superconductors, that is, conductors whose heat energy is reduced to 0 degree absolute or minus 230.1 degrees Celsius, are considered as perfect as all the electrons are posited in such a perfect condition that no external force, say of a magnet, can penetrate into it. The stage when you become impervious to or invulnerable to any external forces like sufferings, sorrows, censor, or praise, etc. The polaric opposites lead you to perfection. So, this ends my third video. So, dear friends, please subscribe my channel, like my video, comment and share. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you.